Hi, this is Jeevratnam and welcome to my channel Jeevan Astro Answers. The word osteoporosis means spongy, porous bone. Osteoporosis is a bone disease that develops when bone mineral density and bone mass decreases, or when the quality or structure of bone changes. As we know that bone is made up of minerals, mainly calcium salts, and it's bound together by strong collagen fibers. Our bones have a thick, hard outer shell called cortical or compact bone. Inside this, there is a softer, spongy mesh of bone, that is a trabecular bone, which has a honeycomb-like structure. When bone is affected by osteoporosis, the holes in the honeycomb structure become larger and the overall density gets lower. That's why the bone is more likely to get fractured. Bone is a living, active tissue which is constantly renewing itself. During its development, the bone itself undergoes two major metabolic events, that is osteoclast and osteoblast. Whole bone tissue is broken down by cells called osteoclasts, and if whole bone tissue is replaced by new bone material by cells called osteoblasts. Here, the balance between the breakdown of whole bone and the formation of new bone changes according to different stages of our lives. In childhood and adolescence, our bones grow bigger and stronger. New bone is formed very quickly. After this, in adults, new bone is produced at about the same rate as older bone is broken down. At the age of 40, bone starts to be broken down more quickly than it's replaced. So, your bones slowly begin to lose its density. As you get older, you begin to lose more bone than you built. Hard bones turn spongy and spongy bones turn spongier. If this loss of bone density goes too far, it's called osteoporosis. And other reasons for getting osteoporosis are poor diet, steroids uptake, hormonal changes, heavy drinking, heavy smoking, family history, body size, etc. If the diet doesn't include enough calcium or vitamin D, you will be at a greater risk of receiving osteoporosis. Calcium is the most common mineral in our body. primarily found in bones and teeth. And calcium is the major component of the bone. It's present at more than 99% as calcium phosphate complexes, and it provides structure and strength to the skeleton. And also, the bone acts as a metabolic reservoir, and it maintains the intra and extracellular calcium pool. Meanwhile, our body is also constantly using calcium for muscles, heart, and nervous functions, as well as the heart functions. If a person's diet does not include enough calcium, then the body will pull calcium from the stored supplies in the bones, and it weakens them and increases the risk of fracture. Vitamin D helps the body to absorb calcium. As you grow older, your body needs more vitamin D, which is made by the skin when you are in the sun. High salt intake is the risk factor for osteoporosis because excess dietary sodium promotes urinary calcium loss, leading to calcium loss from bone and therefore decreased bone density. Steroids are one of the major causes of osteoporosis. Steroids such as corticosteroids are used to treat a number of inflammatory conditions including rheumatoid arthritis. They can affect the production of bone by reducing the amount of calcium absorption from the gut and it increasing calcium loss through the kidneys. Anyone can get osteoporosis, but women are about 4 times more likely than men to develop it. Female sex hormone, that is estrogen, plays an important role in the growth and maturation of bone. After the menopause, when the ovaries stop producing the estrogen, the process of bone loss speeds up. These lead to decreased bone mass, disturbed architecture, and reduced bone strength. And men with conditions that cause low testosterone are at risk for osteoporosis. Hyperparathyroidism can cause osteoporosis because the excess hormone extracts calcium from your bones. Calcitonin slows bone breakdown and increases bone density in the spine. Heavy smoking. Tobacco is directly toxic to bones. In women, it lowers the estrogen level and may cause early menopause. In men, smoking lowers testosterone activity and this can also weaken the bones. Heavy drinking. Drinking a lot of alcohol reduces the body's ability to make bone. Alcohol interferes with the pancreas and liver and its absorption of calcium and vitamin D. Alcohol decreases estrogen and can lead to irregular periods. As estrogen declines, bone remodeling slows and leads to bone loss. Exercise encourages bone development, and lack of exercise increases the risk of losing calcium from the bones and so developing osteoporosis. Then, family history. Osteoporosis does run in families, probably because there are some inherited factors that also affect bone development. Osteoporosis is a silent disease. In most cases, people with osteoporosis don't know until they have a fracture. Fractures may happen in a relatively minor fall or accident, and most fractures occurs in the hip, spine, or wrist. Some people have back problems if the bones of the spine, that is vertebrae, become weak. If several vertebrae are affected, your spine will start to curve and you may become shorter. These conditions are known as vertebral crash fractures. Other symptoms may include receding gums, weakened grip strength, weak and brittle nails. Now we see the planetary combinations for osteoporosis of bones. Houses involved are the 2nd, the 6th and the 10th, both from Lagna and from Aries. Planets involved are Saturn, the Sun, Mars and Mercury. Mars refers to the neck, Saturn to limbs, Rahu to feet, Mercury to the back, 4th house to ribs, Capricorn to the knee, 11th to the left hand and 3rd to the right hand and collarbones, 2nd to the right leg and the 12th to the left leg. The Sun with the Moon, Saturn and Mars in the 8th, the 5th or the 9th leads to fracture. Rahu, Saturn and Mercury in the 10th leads to the fracture. The Moon with Mars in the 6th leads to the fracture. The Moon in the 1st, Saturn in the 4th and Mars in the 10th leads to the fracture. The Sun in the 1st, Saturn in the 5th, the Moon in the 8th and Mars in the 9th leads to the fracture. The Moon in Saturn's house placed between malefics and the Moon in the 2nd, Mars in the 4th and the Sun in the 10th leads to the fracture. The Sun in the 4th, Saturn in the 8th and the Moon in the 10th leads to the fracture. Saturn in the second, the Moon in the fourth, and Mars in the 10th leads to the fracture. The Sun and Mars in the third, aspected by Saturn, leads to fracture. Maintaining healthy habits such as eating a balanced diet, exercising regularly, not smoking, quitting drinking, and practicing proper dental hygiene that will promote bone and oral health in the long term. The good news is, even if you already have osteoporosis, it's not too late to start taking care of your bones, since your bones are rebuilding themselves all the time. Even if you break your bone, never give up. Stand up and rebuild yourself just like your bones do. Anyway, take care, stay healthy, and be safe. Bye.